The political showdown between Emmanuel Macron and Marine Le Pen in the second round of France's presidential election is far from over. Many politicians on the left and right, including socialist Anne Hidalgo, communist Fabien Roussel, Republican candidate Valérie Pécresse, and environmentalist Yannick Jadot on the side of the French ecologists, have urged people to vote for the outgoing president. I'm Anjana for you, and let's take a look at the French elections and role of Marine Le Pen briefly. Despite his differences with Marine Le Pen, the right-wing candidate Éric Zemmour advocated for a vote for her. However, it's important to remember that, according to the results of the first round of voting, which took place on April 10th in the elections, French voters appear to favor anti-establishment candidates such as Yannick Jadot and Marine Le Pen. A number of experts and journalists feel that a substantial number of French voters will vote for Mr. Macron in the second round on April 24th for the same reason they voted for him in the first round in 2017. The truth is that the extremist elements in France are becoming more powerful with each presidential election. Yannick Jadot, Fabien Roussel, and Anne Hidalgo received less than half as many votes as Yannick Jadot. Ms. Le Pen's vote increased from 21% in 2017 to 23.15% in 2018 due to the traditional rights problems in France. As a result, while French political parties are not completely dead, traditional policies in France, whether on the left or on the right, has suffered a significant setback. As a result, the French are drawn to Ms. Le Pen and Mr. Mélenchon, not so much for their programs as for their populist presentation of them. Marine Le Pen and Yannick Mélenchon both play on the register of French identity in different ways. In reality, they both challenge the French to reconsider France's identity beyond the rigid frameworks through which they are accustomed to viewing it. It makes them realize that the French identity is always a work in progress. It's because they each claim a different sort of Republican universalism that the conventional right and left in France that they are becoming increasingly popular in the hearts and minds of French people. Mr. Mélenchon does not reject the radical equality of all French citizens or the secularity of the French state, but he criticizes the French political culture's hegemonic lexicon by emphasizing the risk of structural racism in France. In other words, according to Mr. Mélenchon and his Love France Insoumise party, while France is a country with democratic procedures, it is a national entity with insufficiently diverse political involvement. It's interesting to watch how, in the case of Marine Le Pen, populist rhetoric has become the primary mode of the communication. Beyond a professed anti-hijab secularism, she exploits French while Catholicity as an identification identifier. Her use of a concealed, non-inclusive lexicon conceals a hierarchical image of French society that isn't directly stated. Marine Le Pen's populist rhetoric, on the other hand, has found more resonance among the French populace than it did 5 years ago. This is a significant shift in the French political mindset, which has previously been alerted and alarmed by the subtle forms of fascism, racism, and anti-Semitism. Marine Le Pen's unexpected victory in the first round of the French presidential election this time demonstrates that France is losing its ferocious Dreyfusard syndrome once again. In addition, Marine Le Pen considers herself a populist who opposes the system that is terrible and represents evil for the French people. Ms. Le Pen's favorite topic is undoubtedly immigration, which is frequently described as a byproduct of globalization. In addition, in opposition to President Macron's vision of European unity, Marine Le Pen and her national rally show defiance to the European Union in the name of a national sovereignty whose contours are never precisely defined. Even if Marine Le Pen does not win the second round of the French elections and Emmanuel Macron is re-elected for a fifth term as President of France, the main question that remains is the political attitude of French society. We have a moral and political right to wonder if Marine Le Pen's goal has become the dream of a major percentage of the French public. Marine Le Pen's name is no longer seen as a threat to the historical values of egalitarian France, devoted to liberty and fraternity by many French citizens today. For many French individuals, Marine Le Pen's political commitment to prioritize work, social assistance, and social housing for French nationalists does not put into doubt the Republican contract's major principles of equality and fraternity. In addition, given the current Ukrainian crisis and Marine Le Pen's political proximity to Russian President Vladimir Putin, her arrival at the Élysée Palace would represent an even more serious break with the European Union's political architecture. In France, the radical right has never been so close to victory, but the future of French politics has never been more uncertain. If Marine Le Pen wins, some 130 years after the victory of the Dreyfusards at Alfred Dreyfus' trial, the anti-Dreyfusards will be in power once more. This is Anjana signing off. Do like and share this video. For further updates, subscribe to Kaumudy Global.